Hi, welcome to this video where I'm going to run through some of the Masters favourites and 4 picks that I think are offering some value in the betting where you might be able to win a few quid on the Masters this week. Okay, so let's get stuck into the 4 favourites first. So I've got it all up on my screen here. So number 1 is obviously Scottie Scheffler. So I don't think anyone can argue that Scottie Scheffler is the outstanding favourite for this year's Masters. His game from tee to green is just absolutely ridiculous. His strokes gained is pretty much leading in every category. His form this year has been amazing. He's contended and won in every single, he's won or contended in every single PGA Tour event he's played. And also, you know, his Achilles heel, which has been his putting, has started to turn around. And I am very good friends with Phil Kenyon. His putting coach, me and Phil grew up together. We talk on a regular basis. So I know that not only are we seeing Scottie's improvement on our TV screens, but I also know from speaking to Phil that he's also getting more and more confident within himself as well. So there's every reason to think that Scottie Scheffler, we may as well just put the green jacket on him now, right? But for each one of these favourites, I'm also going to give reasons as to why I think they possibly might not win. And in Scottie's case, Augusta National, if you have any kind of slight weakness in your game, Augusta National will find you out. And I just think that his putting, although it has improved massively, it's still not quite there. And Augusta's greens are so tricky. And under the pressure, I think that might just have him coming up a little bit short. But he will definitely be there in the back 9 on Sunday without a doubt, but I just think that possibly his putting could have him just coming up a little bit short. Okay, on to the second one, which is Rory McIlroy. So Rory is obviously, you know, been looking for this Masters win to do the Grand Slam for so many years now. It puts a massive amount of pressure on him each time, and he just seems to, you know, in the first couple of rounds, he just seems to just allow the pressure to get to him too much, and he leaves himself with too much to do. That's kind of been a recurring theme. So this year, he's obviously trying to do something different. He's been out to see Butch Harmon for a lesson and obviously got some great confidence from that. He's played the week before the Masters for the first time in a long time. He's not getting down on property till Tuesday, and he's just going to play 9 holes on Tuesday, 9 holes on Wednesday, and then go straight into his round. Normally, he would have the week off before. He would get to Augusta early. So he's searching for a new formula that's going to work. I just think in Rory's case, the first round is so key. If Rory gets off to a bad start again, what tends to happen, and has happened in past years, is he then goes chasing to try and get back into the tournament. And if you go chasing a score at Augusta National, that is when you get into trouble. Augusta National is all about being patient and just waiting for those opportunities to come along. Basically, pick birdies up if you can along the way, but then try and cash in on the par 5s, and that's the formula to trying to get yourself in contention on the back 9 on Sunday in the Masters. So if Rory can shoot a solid first round, and then he doesn't have to go chasing, and I'm not saying like lead, let's just say if the leader shoots 5 or 6 under and Rory shoots 1 or 2 under, then I think that bodes really well for Rory, because then he's not going to have to chase, and then he can just, you know, slowly just try and work his way into contention for that last 9 holes on Sunday afternoon. So it's all about the first round for me with Rory, and if he does that, then 100%, and no one will be happier than me if he completes the Grand Slam, because he's such an amazing golfer. He deserves a Grand Slam, if anyone can deserve it. And, you know, he can do it without a doubt, but he needs that first round under his belt to keep himself in the right place and just be patient and then just try and get himself into the tournament. Next is Brooks Koepka. So Brooks Koepka has never made any real argument about the fact that he does not care about PGA Tour wins when he was on the PGA Tour, and I don't think he cares about Live Golf wins when he was on the Live Tour. What he does care about is major victories, and he just seems to be able to turn up at a major and just put it into a different gear and just becomes a completely different animal on the golf course. Now, obviously, last year he came second to Jon Rahm, and then he said afterwards that he He know the mistake he made and he'd never make it again. Goes to the PGA Championship and just promptly goes and wins the PGA Championship and looked like an alpha male when he won that. So, you know, he's got the experience around Augusta, which, you know, we all know everyone needs that. You need to know where to put your golf ball. You need to know where not to miss and all that kind of stuff. But the big difference is this year, Brooks came in last year with really great form. He won the Live event the week before Augusta National last year, and he had a string of good events. So you could see that on the Live Tour that his game was trending, and then it was no real big surprise to see him play well at Augusta National, given the play that he played previously on the Live Tour. Whereas this year, it's very, very much different. He's not really shown any form on the Live Tour whatsoever, and I've got it on here. Last week at Live Miami, he finished tied 45th on 7 over par. Tied 45th out of a field of what we know is only 54 players is not very good for a player of Brooks Koepka's quality. So he's not coming in with the form that he had last year. So although I recognise that Brooks, you know, can just turn up at a major and just turn into a completely different golfer, I just don't think his game looks like it's in the place for him to really contend this year. I may be wrong, but again, similar to Rory, I think if he gets off to a good start and has a good first round, then that could just get his confidence up. And once Brooks Koepka's got confidence, everyone else better look out. And number 4 is Jon Rahm. So Jon Rahm, obviously, this year has moved to the Live Tour, which was a big surprise for many. Now, his play on the Live Tour, although he's not managed to win a Live event, his play has been extremely steady. He's been finishing top 5, top 10 every single week. I've watched quite a bit of those events, and he's definitely playing well. He's hitting the ball well. He's made more birdies on the Live Tour than any other player, so that suggests to you that his game is in a good place. But I just don't think that Jon Rahm's going to slip the green jacket on again, just because he is the defending champion. Only 3 players in the history of the Masters have managed to defend their title, and that is Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo and Tiger Woods. And I think the reason for that is there's just such a massive amount of demand on your time as the defending champion. The amount of press that you have to do, the amount of interviews you have to do. You've got the Champions Dinner, which, you know, Jon Rahm has talked about. It's been on his mind a lot, having to make the speech, get the menu right and all that kind of stuff. I just think all of those things are the reasons why not many have defended their title at the Masters. So although I think Jon Rahm is playing well enough, and he's obviously got the game for Augusta, because we saw that last year, I just think that being defending champion means that he is probably just unlikely to defend his title. But I do think that all 4 of those players, without a doubt, could be in the mix going into the back 9 on Sunday at the Masters. Gone through the favourites. Now we're going to get onto my picks. So my picks are players that I think I've got some value in the betting, and I have put money on all 4 of these players. Okay, so I'm going to tell you who they are. I'm going to explain my rationale to why I think they are worth having a little bit of punt on the betting. There's 2 Live players and there's 2 PGA Tour players. The first one is Joaquin Niemann. So Joaquin Niemann has been on a hot streak of form since before Christmas, back in November when he won the Australian Open. He's also had good results on the DP World Tour, and he's won 2 Live events and has pretty much been in the top 10 in every single Live event. So his game has been absolutely trending and right at the top of his game for a sustained period of time now. And he played well last week at Live Miami. So there's no reason to believe that that form has dropped off whatsoever. His record at the Masters is not amazing. He's played 3 times. He's missed the cut in 2018. He tied 40th in 2021 and tied 35th in 2022. The reason I've gone for him is obviously because of the form that I've mentioned, but also he's at 22-1. So I have gone each way on Joaquin Niemann, which means that if he places in the top 10, then I will get paid out. And I just think that given his game, you know, another thing as well is that he's been talking about this new coach that he's been working with that has just got something right in his technique, which has clearly worked because he's literally just got the ball on a string. He's not hitting it offline hardly ever. He's long off the tee, so he can cash in on the par fives at Augusta. He's a good putter as well. So I think there's a lot of ingredients there that say that Joaquin Niemann is going to be a contender in this year's Masters at 22 to 1, and to place in the top 10 if you go each way. I think there's some great value there. Okay, my second one is another live player, which is Bryson DeChambeau. So Bryson DeChambeau has been trending since the middle of last year, when basically he fully recovered from his wrist surgery. He got all his equipment sorted out, because if you remember when he partied with Cobra, he had to go and get new irons, and of course he used his same length irons. He had to change and find a new driver, and I think there was a period of time there where not only was he struggling with his swing because of his health after the wrist surgery, but also he was trying to dial in his equipment as well. But once he got healthy and he got his equipment dialed in, and in particular that new driver that he's using, which is a brand I've never heard of. I can't remember what it was, but it's a brand that's used by long drivers, apparently more than used by PGA Tour professionals. And he got that thing absolutely dialed in for him. We know that he's unbelievably long off the tee, but also on the Live Tour, he's been hitting that thing really straight. And around Augusta National, that is such a weapon to have, because if you're going to be hitting short irons into some of these par fours, but more than anything, if you can cash in on the par fives at Augusta National, then you are definitely going to be giving yourself a great chance at the Masters. So with his length and hitting it straight, and also there's not much rough at Augusta National as well, so he could actually hit one right out the screws and maybe just be a little bit offline. If he's not got a tree in his way, he's still going to have quite a short shot into a lot of these holes. So also, Bryson's other parts of his game are also solid. You know, his iron play, his wedge play, his short game is really good, and he's a good putter as well. And he's got the experience around Augusta. He's played there plenty of times before, so he knows where to miss, where to hit, and all that kind of stuff. So again, I've gone at 25 to 1 for Bryson DeChambeau. I have gone each way for him to be in the top 10, and I will get paid out. So I think Bryson could do it. Okay, my third one is now back on the PGA Tour. I have gone for Shane Lowry. So Shane Lowry is a player that I absolutely love. I love his sort of natural way that he looks like he plays the game. He looks to me like he's never had a golf lesson. It looks like he's always trying to shape a shot in a natural way. He's a real player and shaper of shots. And I think around Augusta, that's a massive advantage. But also the biggest thing with Shane is his short game is just insane. I mean, his hands are so good. And again, around Augusta, that can be a massive benefit for if you get a little bit out of position or you need to get up and down for a birdie on the par fives. That short game is really, really, really useful. Now, his putting, he's quite a streaky putter, but when he's on, he's a great putter. So if he has a good putting week, his form is good. He's been putting in really solid performances on the PGA Tour. So he's coming in with his game in pretty solid shape. We'll be able to shape all those shots. That short game and putting, I think that Shane could definitely get there in the mix. And he's finished tied third before. He came tied third in 2022. So it's not like he's not done it at Augusta before. He has. And at 33 to 1, I have again gone each way. So if Shane places in the top 10, I will get paid out. And I think there's some real value there, because I think Shane has got all of the utilities and the weapons in his armoury to do well at Augusta, as he has already done in the past. And my last one, now I nearly changed this, before I tell you who it is, I nearly changed this to Sergio Garcia, because Sergio's been playing really well, and in Live Miami, which was the last tournament before coming over to Augusta, he lost in a playoff, was obviously playing very well. He'd gone to an older putter, and he was seemed to be putting a lot better with that putter. I'm assuming that he's kept that in the bag for this week. Obviously, he's a past winner. He knows Augusta like the back of his hand. He played as an amateur for the first time in 1999. So this will be like his 25th Masters. So from an experience point of view, there's no one who's got much more experience than Sergio. And his form is obviously really good, because he's been playing well on Live, and he played really well in the event before. And at 90 to 1, you might want to think about having a little go, maybe a little flutter on Sergio each way to finish in the top 10, because for everything I've just said there's reasons to believe that he might be able to do it. But I didn't change my mind, and I have stayed with Brian Harman. So Brian Harman obviously now is a major winner, and I think once you become a major winner, your belief just goes through the roof. I think if he gets into contention at Augusta, I don't think that he's going to for 1 minute think, you know, like he's a rabbit in the headlamps. He's going to be like, no, I've done this before. I've been in a major, in the heat and battle of a major, and I came out and I won. If you remember at Hoylake, he had a massive lead after 36 holes, and everyone was just waiting for him to falter. And he was such a gritty competitor. He is such a gritty golfer. And his iron game is very good. His short game is extremely good. And his putting is off the charts. I mean, talk about a clutch putter. Brian Harman is one of the best putters out there. The only one slight downside I could say about Brian Harman is that he's not the longest off the tee. And because we've got rain coming in on Thursday, which is going to soften up the course, which means there's not going to be quite as much run on the fairways, that might just be a slight issue for him, maybe getting up in 2 on the par 5s. But, you know, even if he can't, his wedge play and his putting are so good that he can still come out of those par 5s with birdies. And at 50 to 1, I think that there's some value there for him to finish in the top 10. Again, I put money on him each way to finish in the top 10. He's had 4 appearances. He's finished... tied 12th was his best finish, but you know, that was before he became Open champion. I can't stress how much I think that does for your belief system when you turn up now as a major champion and you get introduced on the first tee as the Open champion. I think that just does so much for you. So again, at 50 to 1, I think there's some value there as well. So that's it. They're my 4 picks where I think you might be able to get a bit of money off the bookies. Let me know if you're going for someone else. Put it in the comments. Let me know who you fancy. Let me know if you have a flutter on. Let me know what you think about the players that I've picked. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And I will see you in the next video.